Hello. Hi, it's Elise again. Take two. So I'll do a little bit of an introduction. Hopefully, people will come and join. I had a little bit of a problem with my first broadcast. So I'll do an introduction, but yeah, apologies if there's any problems. I'm Elise. I'm one of the Joe ambassadors for this year. You've not seen me for a while. Things have been a little bit busy, a little bit hectic. Oh, by the way, yay, it's working. Yeah, so things have been a little bit hectic for me in the last few months. I went to visit my family in Canada, came back, and I applied for a visa. Hi, Lorna, which was successful. So big thumbs up. I can now remain in the UK for as long as I want. Got engaged. Woo. And went back to work. So a lot of things have happened. So that's why I've been a little bit more quiet. I'm frozen. Okay. Well, it's probably because I'm Canadian. Okay. I'm not really. Well, if you can hear me well, I'll carry on. If it keeps freezing and it's really annoying, let me know and then we can stop it. Anyone else around? I know that Lorna and Zoe are around, so hello to anyone else that is. So I think I'll speed things up a little bit because we're a bit late on schedule and I don't really like that. I'm really sorry about all this. Normally works really smoothly on my apparently new phone that actually just broke 2 days ago, so I'm a little bit sound continues, but it's a little bit frozen, so that's a little bit annoying. Hi, Kirsty. Hi, Elodie. Many apologies. So I'll carry on, and if it's too annoying, we can stop it for sure, and I can do another live or do a video and post it on the page. But I thought I'd do a little talk today about carrying a newborn period and carrying whilst pregnant, because I often get quite a lot of questions. Is it safe to carry my baby when I've just had one? Is it safe to carry whilst I'm pregnant? And is it safe to carry after a C-section? Okay, thanks. So I'll start about baby wearing a newborn period. So basically, for most people, no problem. Carrying the newborn period is actually very beneficial for both mum and baby. And it's actually important for bonding, attachment. It helps promote breastfeeding. It helps with postnatal depression because it helps release all those good feeling hormones, the oxytocin, which will help prevent the postnatal depression and also help with producing milk as well. So the main worries often in the postpartum period is obviously the fatigue. You've just gone through labour. For some women, it'll be quite quick, quite easy. For some other, it'll be prolonged. It'll be C-section, emergency C-section, or planned C-section. So there's a lot of factors. There's also the recovery after having a baby, the fatigue because you don't sleep properly for most of the time. There might be other children involved, so there's a lot of factors. At the end of the day, young babies do like to be carried, whether it's in a sling or in your arms, and it can be really beneficial if you could use a sling to free your arms. There's many ways that you can carry your baby. It can be in your arms, it can be in a sling. There's also carriers called kangaroo carry that you can use. Some of them are for hands-free, some of them are for you have to use your hands to make it more secure. So overall, carrying the newborn period is really good. Babies feel secured. It helps with the bonding. You can do skin to skin. So a lot of good things. Is it okay to carry after you have a C-section? Again, sometimes health professionals are not really well informed, let's say. I don't want to say trained, because I would say most health professionals don't really know about baby wearing in general. So their advice will be, oh, no, don't do it, because they don't know about it, which I think is not necessarily the best advice. So yes, for most women, it'll be fine to carry after a C-section. What they normally say is that you shouldn't carry anything heavier than your baby, whether you carry your baby in your arms or in a sling. I think for some women, it has to be more comfortable to have the baby in the sling, because you make sure that the weight is central, the position is adequate, and also make sure that you've got a good posture. So yes, definitely C-section. After a C-section, you can baby wear. If you're unsure, if you don't feel that you're confident enough, you can speak to your local sling group, your sling library, or speak to a consultant. The main things after C-section is to make sure that there's no rubbing around the wound. So make sure that the baby's high enough and there's no rubbing there. And make sure as well that the position is anatomical and ergonomic. Most soft carriers like stretchies or wraps will be all right and will be higher than the C-section wounds now are quite low, so it shouldn't be a problem with that. And also, after a C-section, what's really important, well, not really important, what can be really beneficial is to restore the balance of hormones as well, because often when you had either a planned C-section or an emergency C-section, there's a stop, if I want to say, or an interruption in that normal cascade of hormones that you get after labor, and it's not that that's the way things are, and it's normal, and it's part of things that sometimes you do need for the safety of the mum and or the baby to need a C-section, but it can just break that cascade of hormone, the release of oxytocin and so on. So it can break a little bit the bonding you can have, that more natural sequence that we're used to. It's not to say that it's wrong, it's just that it's a different type, and to restore the bonding, doing skin to skin can be really good in releasing those oxytocin, those happy hormones, the breastfeeding hormone. Be good for both the baby and the mum. So definitely after a C-section, unless there's a reason that your medical your health professional, medical practitioner told you not to, if there's been complications, I would avoid. But if it was a planned C-section and there's no other complication, or even an emergency C-section, and you feel like you can even carry your baby in your arms, there's no problem to carry your baby in a sling as well. So I'm just going to have a look if there's anything else that I've forgot. No. So just general tips about carrying in the newborn period. To be mindful and responsive to your baby, because obviously they're a bit more floppy at that age. Their tone isn't very high, so always at risk of airway compromise. So if the position isn't good, if you don't see them properly, that's always a problem. But that's something you should be mindful whatever age you carry your children. But something to be especially aware of. Be mindful as well of your own fatigue. Don't fall asleep with the baby in the sling, because again, you can't protect the airways if you're asleep and the baby slums down. Holding your baby in the correct anatomical position is actually very beneficial for your muscles. It can improve the posture, and it's actually a lot better than pushing a pram and leaning forward. So it can speeds up the recovery, and you'll strengthen your muscles as the weight of the baby increases, and actually walking around or walking outside is the best way to get back into fitness and lose the baby weight if you need to. And you can increase the length of your walks, the duration of your walks, and the pace you're going while you're carrying a baby in a sling. So I think that's definitely a good. Hi, BC. No, hopefully you can see me better. I think you can hear me well, and hopefully the video will record properly. I'm really sorry the conditions are not too good. So yeah, I'm just saying that if you carry on walking with your baby, that's actually a really good way of getting back into fitness after having a child. And certainly by experience, after I had my first baby, Rose, I started carrying about 3 or 4 weeks. She was 3 or 4 weeks old, and I was out. I can't use the pram around where I live. I live in the countryside, and I was out walking at least an hour every day and around. I was planning my things so that I could go out and walk. Great, Missy. So yeah, and I went back to quite good fitness because of that. So, and I think that was really good and made me feel good because I didn't know what I was doing. I was a first-time parent, and it was quite difficult. And certainly, I think it helped my mood and it helped my recovery. And I'm sure we bonded really well as well. And certainly, she was a baby that loved closeness. So yeah, definitely. Another point that people ask is toddler carrying. So toddler carrying obviously can be a little bit more tricky when it comes to the postpartum period, especially if you have a C-section. I'd say most, after a C-section, definitely avoid carrying a toddler until you're healed properly. As far as carrying a toddler in the newborn period, I'd say on a case-by-case basis, you've got to see how well you recovered from the labour, how long it lasted, and also if you've got any other complications from the pregnancy itself. You can have dyspepsia, so that's the separation of your abdominal muscles. It's actually about 50% of women will get them. Make sure you get that sorted. That's very important. Get assessed by a women's health physiotherapist or by your doctor, and do pelvic floor exercises. They're really important. If you don't get that healed up, long-term problems like back pain, incontinence, prolapses, all sorts of things. So really important to address that. And same with FPD, so symphysis pubis dysfunction. Most of those symptoms of the SPD should recover because a lot of it is linked to the weight of the baby and the relaxin hormone, which should resolve. But that can be prolonged if you breastfeed for quite some time. So something to keep in mind. So I would suggest to make that these are tackled before you start carrying anything heavier than your baby, so heavy loads or toddler. And also make sure when you carry even your baby, your toddler, anything, bend your knees to pick something up. And when you lift something, you need to exhale and use your pelvic muscles and your abdominal muscles so that you're not contracting against the breathing, so that it's all together. There's a few fantastic postpartum recovery programs or rehab programs that you can do online or with physiotherapists. So look into that. That's definitely something to look into. So any questions, if there is still anyone watching? I think I'm a bit frozen. I don't really see all the comments either. So look. No, I think I'm a little bit frozen. So I'll do a quick 5 minutes about carrying in pregnancy. I'm not sure at all anyone is able to listen or watch, but hopefully you'll be able to watch again later. Apologies with the technology problems. I think Be Live can be brilliant, but it can also be a little bit temperamental. So carrying whilst pregnant, I think if you've been carrying whilst you were not pregnant, you got pregnant, you're very used to carrying, and you feel comfortable, I'd say carry on carrying, because actually your body's used to it, just as any other exercise that you were doing pre-pregnancy. If your body's fit, it's used to it, you'll just carry on and it won't be something new. If you're new to baby wearing, or if you've just recommendation for good wrap tandem carries, Bridie. Hello. I'm not a tandem goddess. I'd say maybe speak to Anne, because she's a little bit Anne Crook, which was an ambassador last year. She's my tandem goddess anyway. I've not done many tandem carries. I've used, what have I used? I've used a wrap on my front, just a size 6, to do a front wrap cross carry, and a connector on my back. But again, that's not ideal. And I've done a rock carry, and then you do kind of a citizen finish to put my baby in front. But I've not really done that many tandem carries. And most of them, we've had a few flops tandem carries, because my daughter wants to go up, so I put her first, and then I put my son, and then 5 minutes later she wants to go down, because she's very strong-willed, and she decided that she wants to walk 5 minutes after being in the wrap. So we've not done any tandem wrapping. So I can't really speak much more for that. I know there's people more experienced in tandem carries, and it might be worth speaking to baby wearing consultant about tandem carries. As for, so if we go back to carrying in pregnancy, so what's important, if you're new to baby wearing, get some advice. If you're used to baby wearing pre-pregnancy, carry on doing it, and good idea. Carry on doing it, and things might change during your pregnancy. So usually first trimester, people feel quite fatigued, might have nausea, might have some back pain, some tummy pain. So maybe baby wearing won't be that comfortable. So you've got to listen to your own body. If you feel tired, you don't feel like carrying, maybe you should listen to your body. And it means that all your energy should go to that little squish growing in your tummy. If you feel all right and you want to carry on doing front carries and back carries, it's absolutely safe. There's no pressure on the baby whatsoever, because it's quite deep. Until about 12 weeks, the fetus is quite low in your pelvis, and there's actually no risk at all. Even later on, there's loads of room in your abdomen to do front carries, but as your bump increases, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable towards from about 20 weeks to do front carries. So it might be worth, when you enter the second trimester, to start trying different carries, and maybe speak to your sling consultant, or discuss with friends at your sling groups what like different carries that you could do, and adapt to maybe doing more back carries. Most women will say that as the bump increases, it's more comfortable to do back carries, because it counterweights the weight of the bump, basically. Certainly by experience, I have carried, even front carries, quite late in pregnancy, although the front carries were not really comfortable, because my daughter was quite big anyway, and I think even if I'd not been pregnant, most of the time she would have been on my back. And also, yeah, there is that bump there, so it's not as comfortable as if there's nothing. The other thing that can be a bit uncomfortable as the bump grows is that some carriers, so like soft structured carrier, have a waistband around the bump, so you can either tie it underneath or above, but it can still be a little bit uncomfortable. So what you can do if you're wrapping, you can wrap and do finishes that avoid kind of the waist area, so like a candy cane finish or a Tibetan finish, or use like an ombu, or even May ties can be a little bit more comfortable, but there's still that waistband. So I think umbus are some type of sling that people use quite a lot. So I think that's this. And yeah, if you feel any discomfort, personally, I had some SPD in my second pregnancy. I felt really uncomfortable in my third trimester. I couldn't really carry for more than 15, 20 minutes at a time. My son was quite low from quite early on, and I couldn't manage. First trimester, I just felt too tired, so I didn't really carry much, unfortunately. I think it felt that my daughter was quite independent. She just started walking. She wanted to explore everything, so she wasn't really missing being carried. And then second trimester, honeymoon trimester, for some reason she felt she needed that closeness a little bit more. I was feeling a little bit more cheerful, energetic, so I carried her, went for walks. That was quite good. And then towards the end of my pregnancy, my energy levels dropped. I had a lot of pelvis issues, and I just listened to my body. My body was telling me, you're tired, you need to rest, you can't really carry more than 15, 20 minutes at a time. So I think the last time she went on my back, I was about probably 37 or 38 weeks pregnant. It was a really short carry. And since then, she's just even more independent. So I don't really carry her as much. But yeah, no, it's been good to be able to baby wear during pregnancy, and I would recommend it. There's also a lot of way you can bump wrap if that's something you're interested in. Again, not something I've done much. I've done it a few times. I don't have that much experience, and I didn't really feel the need that much. There's a few people that could show you, and if it is something that you're interested in, if I could speak, that would really help. But if it's something you're interested in, maybe we could get onto a live discussion about it. So I'm really sorry again about the bad signal. Hopefully the video will have recorded properly and people can watch back on the Joy and Joe page. So that'll be it for me for today. And if you've got any questions, feel free to put them here, and I'll try to answer them, because I don't think so. Bridie, you'd be very interested in learning about bump wrapping. Great. Okay. Well, I'll see if there's anyone that could be maybe doing a live broadcast about that. Otherwise, I can catch up at one of the sling meets with you at some point. Okay. Well, bye-bye for now, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Okay. Bye-bye.